Ladies and gentlemen, from New York City, Joe Garagiola.
I can't believe that there's any... I gotta get this off. Whew! I'm the only guy that can take this off without messing his hair. You gotta admit that, right? Huh? Hey, I really can't believe that there's any one of you out there or in our audience as far as television is concerned doesn't recognize this getup. Millions of you have already seen that, well, it's a hit movie, Star Wars, and many of you are probably standing in line right now waiting to see it. This cape, this mask, this wand, all worn by the super villain called Darth Vader. And he's one of the stars of that record-breaking movie called Star Wars. Well, we have the actor who played Darth Vader. He's going to be our first guest, and we're going to meet him. But first, let's meet our panel, okay?
Here's Bill Cullen. Peggy Cass. Barry Nelson. And Kitty Carlisle.
Hey.
Coming to see the show.
Oh. Boy, I tell you, isn't this something, huh?
Are you gonna hear confessions later?
Yeah. I feel like the guy waiting for that big copy machine to come down. No, I need help, right? Bill Cullen said I look better with it on.
Yeah.
And we do want to say hello to Bill Cullen, Peggy Cass, who wouldn't even kiss me today because I had the mask.
No, you look funny.
Look funny.
You look funny all the time, but you look funnier today.
Ah, nice, nice. And Kitty Carlisle is with us.
I think you look handsome.
Thank you. And listen, many times on television you hear people saying, I want you to meet my old friend, and you don't know whether to believe it or not. Well, I want to tell you something. When I first met Barry Nelson, he was doing Monitor. I was a scared little kid, practically. I don't mean it that way. No, no. No, I was just starting in radio. This is the truth. On Monitor, I was just starting.
And your voice was just breaking, right?
That's right. And
You're already old.
oh, yes, very old. I was born age 28. But Barry was doing Monitor, and he was really good to a rookie. He really was. And I appreciated it then, and now he's with Liza Minnelli on Broadway in The Act, and we're glad you're with us today. Just a super, super nice man. But right now, let's meet the actor who played Darth Vader in Star Wars.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Dave Prowse.
Number two.
My name is Dave Prowse.
And number three.
My name is Dave Prowse.
Okay, now, panel, your job is to identify the real Dave Prowse, and here is his story. I, Dave Prowse, am an actor. I've appeared in numerous films, including The Horror of Frankenstein, Jabberwocky, Casino Royale, and A Clockwork Orange. But my current role is really a plum. I play that supervillain Darth Vader in one of the hottest films ever made, Star Wars. Here is a poster showing Darth Vader in all his evil glory. And this is a decal of an intergalactic air battle superimposed over the Darth Vader mask. It's really great to be the symbol for a film which has already become the biggest moneymaker in motion picture history. Signed, Dave Prowse. And we'll get back to Dave Prowse and the two Darth Vaders right after these commercials.
You're having breakfast inside the brain of a lingo.
Okay, panel, remember now, these three gentlemen all claim to be Dave Prowse, the actor who played Darth Vader in Star Wars. And Peggy, we're gonna start with you.
David, number two, does the audience get to see your face during Star Wars?
No, never.
Oh, that's a shame. Let's see. Number 3, a big symphony orchestra did did an outdoor symphony of Star Wars. It was a huge success. Do you know who the conductor was?
That was Andre Previn.
Thank you. And number 1, which studio made Star Wars?
The studio production was done at Elstree.
No, but I mean, who's the big major thing? You know, MGM.
Fox.
What?
20th Century Fox.
Thank you. And number 2, what happened to 20th Century stocks in Star Wars?
Oh. Went wild.
I know, we should have gone wild with it. Thank you. Number 3, who directed Clockwork Orange?
Stanley Kubrick.
And number 1, who wrote it?
Clockwork Orange?
Yeah,
Kubrick
Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Kubrick wrote it himself.
But the original, the book.
I didn't read the book.
Oh, well, I would.
He waited for the movie. Hey, Barry.
Number 2, how long did it take to make the picture?
The actors were actually involved on the film for about 4 months, although they did about 5 weeks' work in Tunisia. And then, of course, there was a lot of post-production work done in the States after.
Why was it done in Tunisia?
All the sequences for the planet, the Tatooine and the home planet were done in Tunisia.
I see. Do you remember the city?
No, I don't know.
No. Number 3, what was the most difficult thing in the part for you to do?
The actual wearing of the armor.
Number 1, how long did it take to get you ready to prepare you for the set?
It was very quick.
Oh, yeah?
Relatively, because it's no makeup needed. You're completely covered.
You're completely covered. What do you do on a hot day?
Sweat.
Okay, let's go to Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, there's been a lot written about why this movie is so enormously successful. Somebody suggested it's because today pictures don't have any real heroes or villains, and this had very definite heroes and villains. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think so, without a doubt, yes.
Number 1, did you know it was going to be such an enormous hit when you took it?
No idea. In fact, we wondered what sort of a movie we were working on at one point.
Oh, really? How do you
Yep.
mean?
Well, it looked as though it was either going to be great or, it could be a complete bust.
Number 2, when an actor takes a part where one's face is never seen, I mean, do you do it reluctantly? Do you do it for the money? Do you do it... You obviously couldn't tell this was going to be such an important picture.
No, you really take it for the part itself.
You mean there was such a good part that you couldn't see your face?
Well, the seeing of the face doesn't really worry me all that much.
Oh. Thank you. Number 3, what about the voice? Was that... why did you take this picture when you were not going to be seen?
Well, it was just something that was offered at the time, and it seemed like a good idea.
And it paid.
It was there. Bill Cullen.
There's an element about this that I like. Number 1, may I ask you this? You had that long black robe which covered your body completely, and you had that mask that covered your face, right?
That's right.
Tell me truthfully, did you actually go into work every day, or did you send someone else in there?
We shared the part.
Well, now, they hire an accomplished actor for this part, then proceed to cover his face. Did you then speak through the mask, number 1?
You couldn't be heard too well through the mask. In fact, the voice was dubbed.
And it was...
James Earl Jones was the voice.
Oh, you didn't do the voice either?
Well, I did on set, but subsequently, you need to understand how the movie was made.
Yeah.
It was separated into 3 parts. One in Tunis. My part was made totally at Elstree Studios. And the rest, with all the special effects, was done in America subsequently.
They have another picture, 20th Century, that they have great hopes in. What is it, number 1?
Another Star Wars?
Yeah, well, not another Star Wars, but they hope will be a successor to it.
Are you talking about Closed Encounter?
That's the one yes, sir, that's the one I
I've
had.
only just heard of that.
Well, that means our game's over, and they must vote. They must mark their ballots. No consultation, no changes. Do you think it's number 1? Or do you think it is number 2? Or do you think it is number 3? And we'll pay $50 for each incorrect vote, $500 if all the votes are wrong. And Peggy, you got us started. How did you vote?
Close Encounters is Columbia Pictures, Bill, not 20th Century Fox. Well, that's your...
I don't know that Hollywood stuff.
Oh, shut up. Number 3 said that it was Andre Previn or somebody, but it wasn't. It was, I never could pronounce the name, Zuba Maitan.
Nancy Kovac's husband.
Yeah. And number 1 didn't ever read the book, which was by Anthony Burgess, so I voted for number number 2. Besides, he said he sweated a lot in Tunisia, and then later on he said he did the whole thing at Elstree. You didn't?
Okay,
I'll meet you afterwards.
All right, let's go to Barry Nelson. How did you vote,
I
Barry?
hope I haven't come at an inopportune moment. But number 2 said that he didn't care about whether his face was shown or not, and I never met an actor that modest, aside from myself, of course. Number 3 said it was just something to do, and number 1 sweated this thing out along with the way he did Under Armour, so I voted for him.
Okay. Kitty.
Well, number 1 didn't know who wrote The Clockwork Orange, the book, and number 2 didn't know what town he was in Tunisia, so I voted for number 3.
Well, I'll tell you, that scatters them out just about as well as we can. Bill, you're going to be the tiebreaker.
By golly, I have a position of power here.
He told me he was sure.
Oh, I'm positive. You see, now the actor who said he didn't care if his face is shown is wrong. For instance, where would I be without my face? Don't answer that.
Way ahead.
I voted for number 1. He seems to.
Okay, the votes are all in. Let us ask the question.
Harder.
Will the real Dave Prowse please stand up?
Yeah, you know.
Okay. Let's find out who the imposters are. Number 1, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Roger Pitt, and I'm a technical writer here in New York.
Aha, okay. Number 3, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Jeff Rogers, and I'm a maitre d' here at a restaurant in New York.
Aha. Dave, in all these movies that you're in, Jabberwocky and all of the Frankenstein, do they ever see your face?
I think you saw my face once in Clockwork Orange. That's one of the few films you've actually seen where you do see my face, because most of the Frankenstein films are all very, very heavy and big makeup jobs. This film, Star Wars, was obviously covered from head to toe in black all the way through. Very, very seldom you actually do see my face.
So really, you got to tell people, hey, that's me.
Yes, yes.
And it doesn't bother you at all?
Oh, well, yes, of course it bothers me. I think as you said before, all actors crave recognition. I would love to be able to walk down the street and be recognized by everybody and people come up. But you see, in England, the film has not been released in England as yet. But in England, I'm the figurehead of a children's road safety campaign, which is on television. And practically every child in England knows me from this road safety campaign. But when Star Wars breaks on December 27th, I think, obviously things are going to alter.
Well, it's a terrific, terrific movie. Congratulations
Glad
to
you all enjoyed it.
Thank you, and thank you, our 2 imposters, for playing To Tell the Truth. Thank you very much. Well, okay. Next up, we have a lady who has been involved in over 3,000 fights. How about that? Yeah, first this commercial, and then you'll find out.
Has that.
And now, let's meet a boxing judge.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Eva Shane.
Number 2.
My name is Eva Shane.
And number 3.
My name is Eva Shane.
Follow along as I read Eva Shane's message, and panel, you can make some notes if you so choose. I, Eva Shane, was the first woman ever licensed to judge professional boxing matches in New York State. That's an honor in itself. But I really scored a knockout when I also became the first woman in the world to judge a heavyweight title fight. It was the Muhammad Ali-Ernie Shavers fight in Madison Square Garden. Luckily, I had had plenty of experience. Prior to the Ali-Shavers fight, I had judged some 3,300 boxing matches. Signed, Eva Shane. Well, we'll begin with our fight expert out of Pittsburgh who knew Fritzy Zivic personally.
I did well.
Bill
Indeed.
Cullen. You
that
did
I
know
did.
him.
Number 2, what system do they use in scoring fights in New York?
Just by the rounds.
Number 3, what's a 10-point must system?
That is not in New York.
No, I know.
That is The 10-point must is 10 points to the winner and 9 to the loser of a round.
Fewer points, and you total them all up at the end of the thing. Is that right?
That is correct.
Who appointed, number one, who appointed you, the boxing commissioner?
Yes, the New York State Boxing Commission.
Speaking of that, who's Eddie Egan, number one? Do you know that name?
No, I don't.
Number two, how much do you score for aggressiveness in a fight, assuming other things are equal?
About 40%.
What was your scoring in the Ali Shavers battle? How did you score at number two?
I scored Ali 9 points, 9 rounds, and Shavers 6 rounds.
And
Let's go to Peggy Cass.
Number 3, how did you get your job?
You apply to the commission, and then you're put on to an apprentice judging.
And number 1, how long did you have to apprentice?
4 months.
Boy, that's not bad. Number 2, who's Customato?
Oh, he's a lightweight.
Thank you. And number 3, how many people score a fight? I mean, how many judges are there?
There are 2 judges and a referee.
Thank you. And number 1, how many rounds was the Muhammad Ali or Ernie Shavers fight?
15 rounds.
Number 3, who's Teddy Brenner?
Teddy Brenner is a matchmaker in Madison Square Garden.
Thank you. And number 1, who's Angelo Dundee?
He's Ali's manager.
Thank you. Number 2, was James Farley on the boxing commission when you were appointed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to Barry Nelson.
Number 2, in what state does the referee not give a vote?
He's voted all the time in every state.
I see. Number 1, or let me ask number 3. Do you think boxing is really on the level?
Yes, it is.
To your knowledge, you've never heard of a thrown fight?
To my knowledge, no.
Number 1, when they go on points like 46-44, how does that differ from 9 rounds versus 3 rounds or to a fighter?
The fight is scored on the rounds, but then you also can score points for each round. And only then will a decision be taken on the
Thank you. Number 3, what would...
Buzzer, and that means we really go to our expert now, Kitty Carlisle. Lay it on him, Kitty.
What constitutes a point?
There you are. I told you. I wait for this
Number
answer.
1. All right, a point is given. You give 1 point for a knockdown. A winner of the round is given 1 point.
But number 2, when you hit somebody where? Is that a point? I mean, you don't have to knock them down to get a point, do you?
No, we usually score 1 point for a round if there's no knockdowns.
But for number 3, thank you. Number 3, what constitutes the winning of a round if there's no... I want to know where you get hit to make it look like you've won a round if you don't get knocked down.
Well, you can get hit on the chin. You can get hit in the stomach.
Does that constitute a point?
Yes, it would.
Number 1, why did you want to be a lady judge in boxing?
Well, I wanted to be more than a spectator, and I also wanted to be involved in boxing for what I felt was my expertise.
Thank you. Number 2, do you come from a boxing family?
Kitty, I got to tell you, that was a great question. I really mean it.
Well, I watched a fight once, and I couldn't understand what they were, why they got the points.
That was a great question, and now
I didn't get an answer.
It's still time to vote. They must mark their ballots. And do you think it is number 1, or do you think it is number 2, or do you think it is number 3? Okay, Bill Cullen, you got us started. How did you vote?
Well, I like number 3, knowing Teddy Brenner as quickly as she did. Not that there's anything wrong with knowing Teddy Brenner, but he is a matchmaker, and anyone who's not a boxing fan is not apt to know.
Okay. Peggy Cass.
Oh, number 2, Gus D'Amato was not a lightweight. He is a heavyweight. He was the manager of
Floyd
Rocky
Patterson.
Marciano.
Floyd Patterson.
And wasn't Marciano too?
No.
No? Well, there I go. Well, anyway, number 3 knew Teddy Brenner. Everybody knows Angelo Dundee, so I voted for Teddy Brenner's person, number 3.
Number 3, all right. You want to put your card up there, Peg?
Oh,
There it is. Yes, okay. Let's go to Barry Nelson.
Well, let's see. Number 1 didn't know Eddie Egan, as I remember, who's the head of a boxing commission in New York. And number 2 didn't know Gus D'Amato, so I think it's number 3 by decision.
All right. You going to make it unanimous, Kitty?
Yes.
Okay.
Because number 3 has a kind of judicial air about her, and she says that you can get hit on the chin or in the stomach. Looks like a point to me.
It's a good point if you're getting hit. All right, let's ask the question. Will the real Eva Shane please stand up? Nah, they had her. They had her, yes, sir. Okay, let's find out about these imposters. Number one, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Jane Knobloch. I'm a reading specialist at the junior high school in Middletown, New York.
And number two, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Jessica DeMeo, and I run a textile design studio, Studio 13, with my partner, Gino Mara.
Okay. Eva, you were the first one, but now we have another lady judge, at least here in New York, do we not?
That's true.
Is she related to the Castellano that we hear so much when we're watching the fights?
Tony Castellano is another judge who was on the Ali Shavers bout with me.
Now, who is Carol Castellano, daughter or wife? Or?
That is his wife.
His wife,
Gee, that's good.
Everybody's moving in. Eva, you did a great job at the Ali Shavers fight. There was a lot of flack in that one, but you did a good job.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I tried to do my very best.
Well, you did great. Congratulations to you. Thank you for playing our game. Thank you, our two lady imposters.
Witty.
I have a very fast 5 seconds to say so long, and there it is.
Our central characters today will receive St. Mary's luxurious bath package, colorful towels, rugs and bath company with 100% background polyester, soft thick on completely machine washing, and a double wax from Tic Tac. This handy coat and your own mouth wax free. Hello, Tic Tac by Ferrero USA.
The double whammy. The sky is falling. Whammy, the all-new Press Your Luck. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, only on Game Show Network.